That's the way our whole life has been. We live in a world of frustration. It has come to the time where each and every one of you, all of you, young and old, we need to send this message to all our young people. Those of you that are over the hill and old, you don't care anymore, but you're here, that's good. What we're doing today is a cause for the good. For this little girl here, the Dakotas that we see around here. It's not about us. I get frustrated this has been going on for 8 months now. I've never said nothing. I've never got involved in the media. I've never said nothing. But not the old ground teacher, what she get out I'd like to participate. We're a very small group here. There's so many people in this room, and you know of relatives, that every week they send letters to sound off. That has to stop. Some of you know those people that are doing that. We need to stop that. Because we don't do that to each other. Some of us want to be Washitus. Some of us want to be an Indian. We did the Makkur, none of that. And I'm proud to be a Dakota. I'll always will be. Never mind Sioux Valley signing a South Government agreement. Keep the AP up. Dinamika ke apte techike, ukaim kinaka kusu na watche ke ukaka he ubida. Doho ke bishe vitana. Watche ke ha. Ukata podecha koste chukko boka. Oksha to us na ko order ke uchao de teatro. Shishi Sam, Shishi Albert, Shishi Evans. Did the copy. I know we talked again of relatives who were true enough to not. I'm sure each and every one of you didn't come for a meal. You came for the cause. The time Rich forgot that you did not encode when I because I kept quiet too long. I represent the blacksmith. Jim Blacksmith, Mazakata, Omaha Society, Okitikhia. They all had a dream. Ever since we were young kids. Forgot that this guy just because he didn't know the joke, this is not happy. The white people will not control you. But you are still doing that. To the young men that are not working today, maybe they want us to keep getting $225 a month. There's a Shitu police officer, John Bainaka. I wait for them. They're scouting around, they're watching us, and some of us want to be here, but they're scared because we're going to get charged if we come here. Dakota, I got the word for this. I didn't come here prepared to say these things. But what told me at Okan, Dakota, Yuksha, Naka. Okani the Jeddah, Tishina. Maybe before the day's over, the RCMP are going to come and board this place up. I don't know. It's not about cigarettes. It's not about like flaps with brothers. It's not about Country Frank. See the bigger picture of the Buffalo Nation, here we touch what we're trying to do. I've been quiet behind the scenes supporting my brothers, what they're doing. Because right now our wagon is very weak. The wheels are wobbling right now because our own people can't support the cause. So when I use Shapoko this day, I'll pass it on to a relative, a koda, a friend. We all know that. I worked all my lifetime. Damn if I'm going to go involved for someday. I might be fired tomorrow when I'm in the front page. So be it. I'm here for a purpose. I want to thank these Kodas that came from way up north. Some guys are saying you're here to support the cause. That's what we want to hear. I really appreciate that. Relatives that came and rode with us. Like I always told my brother, it doesn't matter how small the group is. If we stand united, no guidance. Protect the new yami and an oji wash. Niska, we told the home the Oika. They should be talking to the piece in the house in. And she would actually took of the riders. I should look at it, Rishi Ochi to Gapa. To look for Hichi. I got to teach you where you have told them on this audition. You've been a bit use of it, that's the bullshit. Rishi Toshu and us. That's the power of each. All related. We feel hippie. That's your going of a party in Chechegas. That was the whole point to gather attention from the people going by. I want to thank everybody here for standing on my behalf of my wife and my granddaughter. That they just came to help the cause, help my Kamashi. In closing, 1862, December 26th, 10 o'clock in the morning, 38 Dakota chiefs were all simultaneously hung together. The big chiefs, the one Najim was gay chapter. They were all hung together. The biggest mass execution in the United States history. 38 Dakota chiefs. For Christ's sake, we can't even have 2-3 Dakota chiefs sit in this room and talk and have coffee today. What is wrong? What is wrong with our people? God, the reason I have Pama, this is about God moved to bird tail. Bird teach you Pama, that's in the book. And now I'm saying it here today. Look, these are now we talk about Yukshapo. I go back to that. The reason why I jump on a horse. How does Dakota chiefs, they have plans and visions for us. Because one day, December 26th, they all were hung together. And here we are still looking around, looking for a dream, a reality. So think about that. Next time you see a horse, go up to it, talk to it. Pray with that horse. Don't kick at it. I got upset today, they dragged my little horse across the yard here. Be careful, let's not be in a hurry. Go down. I should have talked to the piece of that pot chick. Both chick get up and tell me, maybe that's the grandfather's talking to me, I don't know. But I just have to say that. But if I stepped on some of your people's toes, I apologize. Those of you that stop that nonsense garbage that's going in the paper, let's stop that. Go and pray. Our communities are suffering. Our relatives are suffering from suicide, from alcohol, from drugs. And yet we can't shake hands when we see each other. That's something to think about.
I like to say, istina, mitä monet päivät. Mutta sitten vuodet, sitten on se ahiga, oikein pitkä hiipi. Että hän on muuta kapteeni. Kai kielä on niin apukin, että tapo kehitetään kahvia. Että se on sitten efekto kahvia. I'd just like to say that ask for forgiveness for it. I'm not going to use my language because we have other visitors that are here in support, but they also want to know what's going on. They want to know the whole thing. So I'm going to try and be as brief as possible because I asked a friend of mine, George Monroe, to come and talk to the people because he has information. And there's other guys that are here that have information to help us. So that's why they're here. You know, we're gonna appreciate one another's help. And that's what we need, is to work together. And I know a lot of our people do not understand the sovereignty. They're too educated into the system, and that's all they know. And they don't know nothing about themselves. And they think we don't have any laws ourselves, because that's how far they're assimilated. But we have laws. You have to look at how did we govern ourselves before the white man came. We govern ourselves. We have laws. That's what our assimilated people do not understand. That's why it's like that. But I understand sovereignty. I understood sovereignty for a long time. And I thought I understood sovereignty. That's why the smoke shop started. Initially it was supposed to be the casino first, but somehow the smoke shop went first. And it was about being a refugee on my own land. That's what Canada said. So we challenged them. Then that refugee went out for non-treaty. And now that went out, and Canada is saying, yes, Dakota had a treaty with the British. That yet has to be dealt with. That way. But because we understood sovereignty, we understood that we have our own laws, we have our own nationhood, we have our own language, our own laws, our own land, our own people. That's what makes us sovereign. But the deeper part of the sovereignty is sovereignty. How you're sovereign. Creator is the sovereign. He created the people. He created the land. He created the laws. He created everything. When you're created by the Creator onto a land, you're sovereign. But when you leave that land to another one, you're not sovereign. You're only sovereign on your land. And that's what I understood. And that's the way it is. So how can immigrants coming from on the other side of the ocean landing here, they left their sovereignty. They left their laws. They left everything. They came here naked. And then they made their own laws. They used the Admiralty law. Admiralty law is the law of the sea. We're standing on the law of the land. They made their own man-made laws, and now their man-made laws are trying to supersede the law of the land today. The province charged us, and they raided the smoke shop and they took what's on the shelf. They left and it opened again. They kept doing that. They kept charging us. But I keep asking for a document that Dakota agreed to be under provincial jurisdiction and to be taxpayers. Give us that documentation and we'll follow it. If we don't have it, we follow our own laws. Because the other court case, the bigger court case with Canada, Canada is saying Dakota is non-treaty to Canada. That's right. That's true. So if we're non-treaty to Canada, provinces don't apply. Their jurisdictions don't apply. our laws apply. It's our resources. But they stole those resources. They stole all of, not just the Buffalo people's territory, the other ones, their territory has been stolen. The resources have been taken. What are we going to do? Because most of us, we consider ourselves highly intelligent, educated, wise. Yet we don't understand that. We don't understand that chief and council are not our leaders. They're the staff of the federal government administering federal funds. But now the federal funds is guided by provincial regulations. It's only federal funds, but the province has regulations for education, policing, CFS, and so forth, all the programs. That's why they're claiming they have full jurisdictions on all reserves. That's what they said at the court when we went to Winnipeg, May 30th, 2012. We have full jurisdictions, Your Majesty, he said. How's that? I thought federal government had full jurisdiction. We do. But all programs are regulated by Manitoba laws. First Nations, the Indians, agreed to be taxpayers. You know, they pay PST, GST now. You don't use their card anymore. Tobacco tax, gas tax, they pay. Therefore, we have all the jurisdictions over the church. You know, you got to think about that. So, if that's the case, when is the federal government going to pull away and drop the Indians? Fund. Or is the federal government going to pass that funding to the province because their laws apply now? So then everybody's going to be provincial. Then your treaties is no good. All the agreements you have is going to be no good. But they were no good in the first place. But what are we going to do? That's the question. How do we deal with sovereignty law against corporate laws? I just had an interview with CBC and APTN, and I told them, if this is not addressed and dealt with, because the province, Scott Connors, the sheriffs, the RCMP, they're wasting good tax dollars on this Chundee shop, where the tax dollars could be spent elsewhere. But they're spending a lot of money on us, on this smoke shop here. And I want the general public to know that. That's the government that's doing that. Playing, wasting money on the Chundee shop. So, the question I have is, when is the province going to come, when is the federal government going to come to the Dakota and say, let's solve this, let's compromise, let's negotiate? When is it going to happen instead of all this nonsense that's going on? And I told that to APTN. We've already gone out of the country. But we'll do that more. We'll go to other countries that we can sign a treaty with on my land. And then that's going to be a big challenge, a problem. Okay. What the province is doing is, the more you do it, the issue is escalating. Now it's escalated to a point where it's going to go international. It's an international problem now. But the province is a corporate. The corporation, how does it have nation law? It doesn't have nation laws to deal with sovereign nations or nations. It's the federal government that's supposed to deal with that. But the federal government is sitting back and watching the province getting beat up. But that's Canada's children, the corporate. Canada's children are misbehaving. This is what we need to deal with. But all the First Nations that are into that sovereignty want to address their sovereignty. Everybody, all the ones that want to deal with their sovereignty have to get together. But there's other chiefs that selling out, taking $50,000, $100,000. They're selling out their own community, their own children, their grandchildren. That has to stop, like we said. We have to do something for our children before we go. You know, the 38 hangings talked about. The visitors that came from the west, they seen it last night. I told it. You know, we can go back and charge them for war crimes by the government. And we don't know that. We don't understand that because we're not thinking. We're not trying to think about our children. I'm thinking about my children, my grandchildren. I'm going to have a grandchild this afternoon. I'll fight for that grandchild. And I hope he comes as a warrior, because we need warriors. So with that, you know, I would like to ask George if he could talk about things that he told me that could help us. But I told him, I invited him to come down, maybe go through a little crash course with some documents that he said we could use to follow the tribal country. But those kind of things I'm interested in, but my fight is to go about the province, because the province is being silly now, doing crazy things that doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense in the court. That's how come every time they call for a court date, we appear, it's only a preliminary hearing, it's not court. So with that, I want to invite George to stand here and talk about some of these things that he thinks that can help us and he can help us. I appreciate, the help from anybody. Thank you.
Well, I don't know, crash course, I've been studying even international law for the last 15 years, following all this, and going across the country, back up the course of those here, studying this. And it's kind of hard for me to kind of describe this in half hour, but your names here, the people that charge you are all strawmen. Your birth certificates. When they call your name in the court, they call a straw man called your birth certificate. It's the birth certificate they're bringing into a court of law, not the flesh and blood man, because they can never lock up a flesh and blood man. It's a birth certificate. Frank Brown, Arnold Smoke. You know, you gotta watch when you go to court. There are secrets. They've got silent contracts. They say, you know, well, all rise. All rise. The judge is coming in. As soon as you stand up, you step into the jurisdiction of that court of law. If they say, is this guy Frank Brown that says, oh yeah, I'm right, you have stepped into the jurisdiction. You've allowed yourself, they trick you. These are called silent contracts. All these people here have got birth certificates, which is the straw man. This is what they use. They bring the birth certificate into the court of law because that's how they control us people. They don't tell our people this, but our birth certificates is what finances this country, not the tax dollars. The birth certificates are traded on Chicago Stock Exchange every day. You can look them up on if you know how to go into their system called Fidelity Inc. And if you have the right numbers on your birth certificate, you can find out how much. I just checked out this one guy. His birth certificate was $29 billion. That's how much this guy's only 45 years old. A kid born today, you say your kid's going to be one out grandchild? That kid is worth $13 million the day that kid is born. And I guarantee you, as soon as that kid is born, now they're issuing social insurance numbers. That is the social insurance number is the bank account to take that money out of that kid's trust. These are all trusts. Every one of these names is a trust. We're a corporation. All of us sitting here. It's all corporations that the government, the province, they use on us. If you know who you are, if every First Nation person knew who he was when he stepped in that court of law, he'd walk out a free man. But we don't know our brainwashing took place. And we fall for these traps. We've got to address the situation. I come here to try to help him. If he's got technicians, we can show him how to write documents, what to put on the paper. These guys, you can write a commercial lien against all these guys here that's laying these charges. A commercial lien, every one of them. You walk into a courtroom with a 1040 form and ask them for their bond numbers and present them. And to top it off, when you walk into court, before they say one word, you stand up and say, I got to address this court. I am a sovereign. I am the trustee. I am the executor. I am the executor of this trust, Frank Brown, and the beneficiary. You appoint the judge. Before they have a chance to speak, I appoint you trustee and the prosecutor. They're both government. The judge and the prosecutor is one and the same. But if they take you to court and they win, including your lawyer that you hired, they all share from your bond. All the money, the judge, the prosecutor, the lawyer, they share money with the crown. Everybody gets money. There's three world, the New World Order, the Army is the United States, Washington, D.C. The bank is the Crown of England, Bank of London. And the head mafia is Rome, the Pope. There's two popes. There's one white and one black. The black one does the court ruling. That's why they wear black robes. That's how they suppress our people. We found out all this information we've been researching for the last 10, 15 years. It's all on the internet. All you gotta do is find it. It's there. There's people in the United States, there's white people doing this. Collect, you can pay your bills except for value for set off. Every bill you got, a car, hydro, there's people paying their bills with just your signature. Every time you sign something, It's like you're signing a check and giving it to them. Your canceled checks at the bank, they save them all your slips. Now every time, before you never used to have to sign a slip, they sell those on the stock market. Your signature's worth money, every one of you. Kids, international law, allodial title. You can claim your land. Your land registered in the United Nations, bypassing Canada, and you can take 128 acres, and a child 12 years old, in international law, is an adult. They can claim 128 acres. You don't have to take your land now. You can take it anytime you want. If you want to go in BC where they're done this, they took the 49 parallel, half of it in the States, half of it in Canada. I got the documentation here that they've done it already. They've reclaimed 20 million acres of land using allodial title, bypassing Canada, because Canada is only a corporation. People don't know that. They're a corporation. The province is a corporation. The chiefs are all corporations. MAC here is a corporation. He's a board of director on there. If he recognizes the AMC in his province or Southern Chiefs, they're a corporation. I tell that when I go to these meetings, I tell that to the chiefs, a lot of the chiefs get mad. But that's the truth. And the people got to hear this because they're being hoodwinked themselves. Like you said, they're sellouts. I've only heard one chief at a meeting call these chiefs you a bunch of chicken shits with kind of capital, a sovereign. I call him a brother because he stands up for what he believes. There is some good people here, some good chiefs that's willing to work for their people. But like he said, there's always that sellout that comes along. If it isn't the chief, it's the councillors that work for him that sell them out. And that's got to stop. You people are all sovereign. And you're not stuck to just here. Wherever you put your foot, wherever your language is spoken, that is your territory. We are Turtle Island, North and South America. We're all indigenous people. Forget it, one family. But they divide us, they put these little squares here, you see that? That's the box, that's the box. And now they're coming in with these new laws they call the Manitoba Lands Act, where you can pour your land. There's what? Another Dakota Nation white cap. They sold our land, they got money. They sold our land without telling the people. West Bank, Chief Louis, Osoyoos, British Columbia, got $100 million, sure he's got a winery, he's got all this. But what happens the day that guy cannot pay for the bank's money? The bank will come there and take all those people off. Tawasin in BC, they just signed a modern day treaty, 8 bands. Most of the old people, they got rivers, oceanfront property. These people got to start paying taxes. What happens that old person on a pension can't pay his taxes? A white man will come there and kick them off their land. Get out of here. We own that. There's First Nations falling into the trap right now. I challenged a guy from Muscatine First Nation outside of Prince Albert. Oh, we got such a good deal. But I see your document in Fort Capel. I said, show me your document. Tell me where the good deal is. Oh, he says, we can rent our land. We can borrow money on it, you know. But I said, where's the good deal? You can rent your land. You can't charge taxes. You can't sell your land. And all natural resources belong to the government. You don't own nothing. Just for a few dollars the government gave you, you sold out your reserve. That's called the Manitoba Lands Act. That's coming down. That's being passed. And a lot of First Nations are falling either because $500,000 here, $500,000 gone tomorrow. You hear what's quantum $400 million. That money disappeared in a couple of years. You were over there, Gordon. You know the money's all gone. There's nothing. Hydro. That's our natural resources. We should be paying free hydro in this country for all this natural resource they steal off our people. We have documentation. If you got technicians, we can show them how to put these documentations. You can write a commercial lien on all these guys here. Every one of them. There's a court case going on in Kelowna, BC this month where a white man is using the sovereign to defend him in court because if you adopt a white man, he stands next to the sovereign can never be attacked. And that guy is under your protection, under your wing. He's bringing an old man. I got the documents, I'll give them to you. That this court case is taken in Kelowna on the 24th, 22nd and 24th. He was my sovereign. This is a white man who used ecclesiastical law, church law. He calls himself a minister, and the minister cannot be arrested. If you go to Winnipeg, there's churches all over, just about every block. And that's all foreigners coming in here making churches. No, they don't have to pay tax. They get away with it, immigrants. An immigrant's got more right than we have in this country today. Because we're the ones being, another 10 years, we won't exist. They will have conquered the Indian nation, North and South America. And that's their plan. Once they do that, they can rape, pillage everything in the land they're doing in these third world countries, kill our children, rape our women, and do everything. That's their plan. If we don't stand up now, there's only a few of us here, but I'll tell you, we can have a very powerful voice. If we work together, stand together. There's a lot of First Nations who's willing to do this, but like I say, like Shanakaku says, they're chicken shits. I'm sorry there's children here, but I got to tell it exactly like the way I heard it, you know. Because we can do this. I'm here to help this guy, call him my brother. He's the only sovereign nation. I praise this guy, Dakota Nation, wherever I go. I said, there's only one pro nation here. You guys call yourself First Nation? I said, no. I said, there's only one nation in this country, and that's the Dakota Nation that's standing up for their rights. You guys are all First Nations. You're all prisoners of war in that box. So there's a lot of work we got to do, but we can do it. Starting by these court cases, your birth certificates. If you get your birth certificates, write the documents out, you can free yourself from that system. They cannot touch you. There's people right now driving around, no driver's license, no license plates, because they know who they are. There's a lot of stuff on the internet, the free training, freedom training, all that stuff is all to help you. The white man is doing it themselves. They're using that law, our law, Creator's law, to pay for their bills. And us, what are we doing? We're sitting by and let the government walk all over us every day. There's a law coming every day. Every day of the week there's a new law they're putting on top of another law. If you beat that law, they'll put another one on top. But if you sign out of that jurisdiction, get your birth certificates, and that's the money. Imagine how much money you guys could have. 50 of us, if we all file our birth certificates, how many $1 billion sitting there? We can build a casino, we can build anything. Our money that runs this country. But we must stand up. We must do our work. We must keep fighting this government because all they got is genocide policies. One of these days, if we don't stand up and defend our country, our lands, our homeland, we're going to be overrun by Muslims, and we'll have the same kind of wars they're fighting over there in Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, wherever. Because those are third world countries. And right now, second law of the land, first law of the land, grandmothers sitting around here. Casas de Mesas, daughters of the Great Spirit, Creator's law, and they're the title holders of Turtle Island. Second law of the land is the white man's law, Corpus Juris Secundum. In the United States, it's printed right on their money. But nobody sees that. They see that little pyramid there with that one eye looking at you. That's all. That come from Rome. Egyptian law, 6,000 years old law that they're using. There's a bunch. We go on conference calls just about every week. We're talking to people from New Mexico, New York, Philadelphia. The Mohawks in Philadelphia took back their jurisdiction, their province. The state of Philadelphia. They took it back. They went back, done their research, and that's all Mohawk people. Michigan, they're doing the same thing. Mohawk people against Six Nation people. They're taking back their law. You might hear about the Patriots. The Patriots in the United States are trying to make, the United States is not legal. There's only 35 square miles of the United States, 17 miles here in Wapton, Minnesota, and 18 square miles in Washington, D.C. Canada is the same thing. You've got two postage stamps, upper and lower Canada, one in Ottawa, and another one across the river in Quebec. Two little postage stamps. That's all that's Canada. The rest is all Indian country. And it's time that we fight these guys. We're willing to help you as much as we can. You know, if you got technicians who know how to write, you know, If you're paying somebody, you know, these lawyers, there's no use to hire a lawyer because as soon as you hire a lawyer, you lost 50% of your case. That lawyer goes and makes a deal with the prosecutor before even you go to trial. They already know the outcome of your case. And then the judge, and then they divvy up your money. Because every court case is money, commerce. And then when you sign your name, if you're signing a document, this document right here, see? When you go to court, it's right here, everything is on this side. That judge is going to turn that paper around and he says, yeah, I got your paper right here. I don't see nothing here. If you're going to write a document, put a big Z on it, put your thumbprint and a stamp, and write 45-degree angle your name. That means if these guys do not address the situation, they are breaking their own laws, which is UPS code, which is the biggest organization in the world, the United Postal Union. So they won't break their own laws, but you got to know what you're doing. You have to know what exactly you're doing. When you walk in that courtroom, you stand up, you talk before that judge talks because you're the sovereign. He's the trustee. You make him the trustee because they're all civil servants. They're civil servants working for us. The RCMP protects the government. The Army is supposed to protect the sovereign, the allies of the crown, which is us, the provost marshal. There's a lot of people that know this law. There's a guy that works in BC called Max One. I don't know if you ever come across him. You might have come across him in Saskatchewan. He's been there. You know, there's a lot of people that's willing to help us. Right now, there's a Jewish state called the General Post Office of Punchadin. These guys are willing to give us money. So how much money you got? We'll help you create your nation. We'll help you make a bank, put a bank. But what do they ask for? They want your birth certificate. And where does that birth certificate go? In Belize. They got a bank in Belize offshore. Once you sign, I told that guy, I said, listen, I'm trying to get out of one ball and chain and you want me to attach myself to another ball and chain. I said, I don't think so. We can do this ourselves. We can create our own banks, our own currency. There's a lot of people willing to help us, but they all want something. And that's the birth certificate. So be careful who you sell your birth certificate. China is trying to buy birth certificates right now. They got 44% of them. Once they get over 50%, they'll rule the world. So we have a lot of work to do. Good information. I got some documents I can share with you, everything. Do you have a copy of the Dakota Proclamation? Frank?
What?
Dakota Proclamation? No? I brought you a copy.
Yeah.
Where all your laws are in there.
Yeah.
Sovereign. You know? They're all sovereign people. We're all sovereign people sitting here. We just don't know it. We've been brainwashed. The white man is never going to teach you. They're still teaching in school that Columbus discovered North America. That's the biggest lie there is in this world. But yet, our people are falling into it. I talk to a lot of white men. I talk to lawyers, and I ask them questions. He says, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking over my head. I thought you guys are lawyers, bankers. They don't know. We can use our birth certificates as currency. We're working with people we've done 50 years of international work out of Duncan, BC. We're that allodial title. You send it over there. He sends it. You register the United Nations. And if you have enough people on there that sign that document, your nation will be registered at the United Nations as a nation. Not in Canada. Canada is a corporation. You can't do nothing here because that's all. The province is a corporation. If you know how to handle corporations, you can handle them. You walk in there and tell them who they are, who you are, and they'll walk away. The RCMP, you know, like I say, there's people driving without no license plates. I noticed here this morning, I passed by here this morning, seen a strange vehicle turn around, they followed me right up to you guys' place over there. You turn around after I turned the other way. I noticed some are driving back and forth here. I guess they're looking for some of the, maybe Ontario place, they figured Quebec place, somebody's bringing tobacco. So they're patrolling here. They're watching us. But that's nothing. We can handle them. No problem. But if we work together, as True Nation people, we are sovereigns. Yes, you are sovereign. But you got to stand up for your rights. You can't let them be trampled. You know? An INAC system is a genocide policy, if there ever was one. It's the same policy they use in the Germans. Another thing, the Germans, Hitler, they say Hitler here. Hitler's real name was Baron Rothschild, part of the Rothschild family, who owns the bank, the Illuminati, England. The Queen Elizabeth, that was her uncle, Hitler. You ever wonder why when they bombed England, that not one of the castles were bombed? Not one of their property. But the rest of England was destroyed. There's got to be a reason for that. Well, I guess you don't bomb your own family. So why us should we do this to Mother Earth, our mother? Creator put us here to protect Mother Earth. We got to do our job, and we can't let these corporations tell us to run us off our land, or trying to sell it, steal it from us. All our natural resources and everything. All it takes is one strong nation. If Frank stands up, and right now he's standing up by challenging this court case. There's other court cases that's going on right now. Papa Cheese in Edmonton is fighting the same thing. They filed a claim in the World Court. Onion Lake is doing the same thing. Wally Fox, he goes directly to The Hague to present his. He's got an international lawyer working for him. In BC, there's no treaties, like you guys, no treaties. They use clan mothers. When they have a problem, they don't run to Ottawa, they go to The Hague. Clan mothers address the World Court. Say, we got a problem. You better fix it. And that's how it's done. And that's how we got to start treating. We got to make our own laws, custom. I don't know if you follow the clan system here, but that's true. Sovereign law, the clan system, because it's made by people, clans, brothers and sisters, families. That's how we stick together. But you got to have your laws on paper. You can't just talk them. If they ask you, where's your laws? Right here. Now you abide by them because you are trespassing on my property. That's how we got to address the situation. Maybe my friend here can give a little help us out. We've been together now for about 10, 12 years. Traveling across the country here and doing this. I'll give Frank all the documents that I have that I brought with me to help you guys. And if you need help, we can come down anytime and help you guys. But you can address this very easy. You know, you can beat these guys at their game because that's all it is the game that they're playing. Once we know how to play, I guarantee you they will back off. They will walk away and they say, we better leave those people alone because they know who they are. Like 1969, the white paper, when Pierre Trudeau stood in the back of that train and waved at those Indian chiefs standing there. He says, come back when you know who you are. That was the truth that guy spoke, because those chiefs didn't know who they are. They go to England as INAC chiefs. They want to talk what did Hobart Mercury say? He had to talk to a statue for 2 days. Outside the Parliament in England, where you couldn't get an audience. I guarantee you, if a clan mother went there, she'd get audience, because that's a white clan mother that's running that station. This is a sovereign clan mother. That's the only way you can address it. I heard they're planning another trip next year in October. But I mean, if they don't use the clan mothers, they won't get nowhere near. So we got some work to do, but at least we have information. We have tools now that we can fight these corporations. Right in their own game. We can beat them at their own game. So that's all I've got to say for now. I'll get some documents and I'll share them with you. Thank you.